individuals and communities. The level of participation in recreational and leisure activities in UJPs or urban green parks also varies.
Urban green parks and biodiversity. In highly urbanized areas, biodiversity conservation becomes difficult. This is because cities are filled with buildings, businesses, and activities that often remove natural land and habitats. However, many countries today are realizing that urban green parks play a huge role in protecting biodiversity, even inside big cities. According to Alvin 2006, green parks and green spaces promotes urban trees in biodiversity, meaning they help different tree species survive and grow. Trees in city parks are very helpful because they make the place cooler and more comfortable. The shade protects people and buildings from the strong heat of the sun. The leaves can catch dust so the air becomes cleaner, and they also help slow down the wind. Trees also takes in carbon dioxide, which helps reduce the effects of global warming. Overall, trees makes the city healthier and nicer place to live in. Urbanization changes the land by adding many buildings, roads, and man-made structures. Because of this, natural habitats become more similar and lose their unique features. When this happens, many local plants and animals cannot survive, so they slowly disappear. Some native species are also pushed out by stronger and native species. Urban areas also tend to have more exotic species, such as plants or animals, that did not originally live there. These exotic species can grow in number quickly and are sometimes treated as pests because they disturb the natural balance. Network of urban green spaces for biodiversity conservation. A network of urban green spaces means connecting different green areas in the city, like parks, gardens, small natural spots, and open spaces. These areas can be big or small. Official parks or even simple natural patches as long as they are connected in some way, either physically or by their functions. Urban planners and environmental experts see this as a good and sustainable way to improve the city. When given spaces are connected, they help plants and animals move, survive, and grow. This network makes the city healthier, cleaner, and better for both nature and people. A network of urban green spaces is basically a system where parks, gardens, and other natural areas in the city are connected through pathways or corridors. These connections allow animals and plants to move more freely, which people protects biodiversity and keep nature balanced. At the same time, these green spaces provide benefits for people. They improve the environment, give spaces for recreation, and reflect the city's culture and history. They also support economic and aesthetic goals, making the city more enjoyable and sustainable for everyone. Components of the urban green network. First, public forest or scenery forest. This area is characterized by predominantly natural vegetation and a mix of native and non-native plants. It is planned for recreation, education, and scenic appreciation, providing the deepest sense of a natural habitat within the urban setting. Second, riparian green space or riverside park. These are linear corridor strips or greens, specifically located along bodies of water. Their function is to protect and manage the riverbank or waterside, and they often serve as natural pathways for people and wildlife. Third, nursery. This is the propagation and supply center for the entire network. Its dedicated role is for breeding, supplying, and propagating different plant species needed for all urban greening projects. The third one, plaza green space. This is an open space typically situated within or around commercial and municipal buildings. It serves a dual purpose, providing space for recreation and creating a buffer against noise, pollution, and solar heat. They usually feature small trees and ornamental plants. The last one is roadside green space. These are linear corridors alongside walks, curbs, islands, and highways. Their main function is to buffer traffic impacts, such as noise and pollution, from nearby human activity, and often using native or exotic species. In cities, the plants and animals we see often aren't native to the area. They've been brought in or adapted to urban life. Because of this, people are becoming less familiar with the natural species that originally lived in their environment. Some experts even say that humans are starting to feel disconnected from the nature that they once relied on and lived closely with. Because city life is so busy and modern, children today are growing up spending less time in nature. This means they often have a weaker connection to the natural world compared to a previous generation. City parks give people a chance to experience and learn about nature. By spending time in these green spaces, residents can better understand the importance of plants, animals, and biodiversity, and why it should be protected. Visiting urban parks might not be as exciting or memorable as going to forests or other wild areas, because the nature there is less dense, and wildlife is limited. However, these parks still help people appreciate nature and understand the importance of protecting the environment, as well as the need to make cities more sustainable.
Good day everyone, my name is Melissa and I'll be talking about how urban parks affect the quality of life. So we all know that, most of us live in the city, right? So sometimes a city can be overwhelming, there's traffic, there's noise, just like now, school deadlines, there's also work pressure happening all at once. And the more urbanized a place becomes, the less connection people have with nature. So urbanization affects both our physical, psychological with nature, which means our health and well-being suffer when green spaces disappear. So kung mawala ang mga tanong, so maka-affect po siya sa atong well-being. Importante man ang mga urban parks. So why urban parks matter? So urban parks are often described as the green lungs of the city, and na-play ni siya a huge role in balancing effects of modern city living. They are just not for mga decorations, they actually improve our physical and mental and social well-being as a people. So, example, Anna, this is a Central Park in New York, as you can see in the picture right there. So, even in such a fast-paced city like in New York, kanang mga tao igura jud nilang mo adto sa balay ng trabaho, people still can relax there and breathe and reset. Parks give the same benefit, just like other parks benefit, no matter the country or city. So the next slide is the psychosocial outcomes of urban parks. These are what people gain from spending time in the parks. So first one is escape, could be a break from routine, pressure, and stress. Solitude is a place to be alone and clear your thoughts. Self-discovery, sometimes quiet places can help you reflect and understand themselves better. Number 4 is tranquility, moments of peace, something rare something rare galing sa mga busy cities. Connection with nature, like trees, fresh air, open spaces, kana mga kuan like kaning mga trees, fresh air, and open spaces can boost your mood, and education and learning. People can learn about the environment and observe nature first, and can observe nature. Also for our, physical fitness, parks make it easier to walk. Sometimes people, jog there and stretch to stay active. Pleasure, for simple enjoyment, hanging out, relaxing, taking photos. Then family bonding. Families can spend time together without, spending money. Okay, parks are free man. Then social relationships, parks bring communities together and help people socialize. So these outcomes shows that parks don't just help individuals, they make the cities healthier and more livable. Last slide is urban parks in the Philippines. So as you can see in the slide, it's more about the statistics and stuff. So I'm not going to read it all of that. So I'm going to explain a bit about the slide. So the paragraph shows that urban parks are important in the Philippines also, especially in the cities. Like, Philippine cities are getting more overcrowded, but amount of green space per person is still very low. Even with many parks, people still don't enough natural space. I think the country needs better and more accessible parks to keep the cities healthy and livable.
My name is Miracle Hesta, and today I will be discussing the topic urban green parks and sustainable cities. So, according to several researchers like McDonald, the presence of green public spaces is a strong indicator of a livable city. So, this means that cities with parks and natural areas are healthier, more enjoyable, and better planned. So, even though there is no single universal definition of a sustainable city, organizations like the United Nations through Agenda 21 identify several key indicators of urban sustainability, which include urban planning like efficient transportation system, proper housing distribution, and second is the environmental management like waste management and recycling, water and energy conservation, and air pollution control. And third is the social development like health programs, community engagement, and recreation and leisure activities. So urban green parks serve multiple purposes, so allow me to explain each objective. So parks offer residents a place for different recreation activities such as jogging, biking, picnics, and exercising. So these spaces help people unwind and enjoy their free time. So parks help improve both physical health because people can exercise more, and mental health since nature reduces stress, anxiety, and fatigue. And the third one is to decrease the visual impact of a crowded environment dominated by concrete buildings and traffic. So, cities full of buildings, supermarkets, and traffic can feel suffocating. So, refreshing scenery and creating a visually relaxing environment is the priority. So, trees absorb pollutants and produce oxygens. So, this improves the quality of air, especially in crowded cities where vehicles emissions are increasing. So parks help bring back or maintain natural plant species even in the middle of urban development. So birds, insects, and small animals can live in parks. So even in busy cities, these spaces become safe habitats for native species. So parks bring people together, families, friends, and even strangers. So this strengthens community bonding and improves social values. So let's move forward to management of urban parks for sustainable tourism, recreation, and leisure. So effective park management is important kaya ang urban green parks dili ng empty spaces. Kinahanglan sad sila proper planning o maintenance para makatabang sa public health, environment, o recreation. So tungod ani, daghan countries kina-priority ng parks to build a sustainable cities. So kailangan masabtan ang saang pag-work sa ecosystem o mag-design og mga parks na makasuporta sa natural processes. So, daghan city residents nakafeel og nature deficit tungod sa crowded o urbanized car. So, parks makatabang jud siya para makareconnect sa tao og nature. So, bisan visit ang city, ang parks makaprotect sa plants, animals, and natural habitats. So, daghan sa authors moingon nga green parks kay makatabang para ma-strengthen ang relationship between people and nature in crowded areas, which is tinuod man sa. So, applying ecotourism in cities is a new pero na-develop na concept. Ang Green Tourism Association sa Canada nagpakita nga sustainable ang urban green tourism the way sa pag-educate sa tourists, promoting green practices, o pag-provide o green maps, guidebooks, o websites. So, para ma-effective ang urban tourism plan, dapat socially sustainable and ecologically sustainable o dapat appeal o empowered ang local residents. So, according ni Harris, ang sustainable tourism development can need siya og collaborative approach, integrated planning, and multidisciplinary team like experts sa ecology, tourism, environment, o urban planning. So, kini nga teamwork makatabang para sakto ang design o management sa green parks. So, sa Pilipinas, kasagaran city parks kimanage sa local government. So, usa sa exception kay ang Ninoy Aquino Parks and Wildlife Center na national level and supervision. And iyang mga challenges kay ang income gikan sa entrance o users fees dili kasagaran enough para sa park development o maintenance. So, because of this, kailangan ang tabang sa national government, private sector, para sa infrastructure improvement, staff training, environmental education programs, aron ang parks makapadayon og function sustainably.
Good day everyone. Today I will talk about the major elements in managing urban green parks. First, parks must protect natural vegetation and use eco-friendly practices. They also need to conserve biodiversity by supporting native plants and animals. Next, parks should offer clean and safe facilities and maintain them regularly. Public awareness is important, so signs and programs should help people learn about nature. Research is also needed to improve service and understand the environmental benefits of parks. Staff must be trained in tourism, maintenance, and visitors guidance, while security measures ensure safety for all. Park funds should be used wisely to support environmental projects. Lastly, park must be accessible and fair to everyone. That's all. Thank you.